Okay, and we live again. Today we're going over lesson 18. Lesson 18 is about the Pythagorean theorem. The way you pronounce that, I know it looks crazy because it's a bunch of random letters it seems put together, but it's pronounced Pythagorean theorem. Okay? Our key questions for today are what sorts of problems did Pythagoras solve and how do we solve them? We're not going to worry about that right now. The most important question you need to be concerned with for now is what relationship does the Pythagorean theorem show? First, we have our warm-up like usual. For these questions, these are very, very simple. It says to identify the right triangle and determine whether if something is or is not a right triangle, right, yes or no. I would hope that you know by now that any triangle with that little square on it, like how it has for number one, that particular square symbolizes the right angle. Sometimes you might see it written like this if you happen to be reading it. But the right angle on a triangle will always be a square, and that square means 90 degrees for those who may not be aware. So any triangle that has a square, take the time to write yes or no. I'm just going to Y right here. Pause if you need to complete this particular warm-up. When you're done, come right back. This and the next slide is pretty much everything you need to know about the Pythagorean theorem. The lesson for today was actually much longer than this. It was a story, and we can do the story in class, but as far as the review, this is all that you need to know. Write down every single word on this slide. I'm going to read it first, and then after I read it, take a pause so you can write if you need to. For the Pythagorean theorem, the first two stars, that first bullet is the definition of it. It's a formula measurement used to define and identify the side lengths or the legs of right triangles and right triangles only. That is the definition of the Pythagorean theorem. Underneath that, the formula for Pythagorean theorem is a squared plus b squared equals c squared. That means the side length value and the legs, a and b are the legs, c is the hypotenuse. So that's the squared values of the legs added together, which will equal the squared value of the hypotenuse length. The legs will always be adjacent to the right triangle. The hypotenuse is always the longest side of any right triangle, and it always is right across or parallel to the right angle. The box of the right angle actually kind of points to it. Pause in this moment so that you can write everything here if need be. When you're done, come right back. On this slide, this shows you exactly what I'm talking about. Here is a right triangle set upright. We have our legs. We have side A and side B. Those are our legs or our sides. We have C here. C is the hypotenuse. You will see that this side, in particular of the triangle, is the longest one. That is always the hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is right across from the right triangle. So the point on that square points directly to the hypotenuse. That's how you can tell what it is. And this only applies to right triangles. Now, that's our lesson for today. That's it. That's all you needed to know. You need to know the definition. You need to know the formula, especially because we're going to do that next. You need to be able to identify the legs and the different sides. You need to be able to identify the hypotenuse. That is it. That's all you need to know. For your exit ticket, it says to which type of triangle does the Pythagorean theorem apply? So what type of triangles does this apply to? I just gave you the answer, so we should know by now. For number two, it says to identify the sides of each triangle by labeling each side as a leg or hypotenuse. So you're just going to put where leg A and B are, and then you're going to write where the hypotenuse is, and turn that in a pattern.